Hi, I'm Laura, and welcome to Heart Driven Tarot, where you receive intuitive answers from tarot to your burning questions about life, issues, and more. This week we have a twin theme. The question for this week and the outlook and advice relates to how can you flourish and operate with greater finesse in your finances, your career, and work if you work at home. Secondly, in your relationships, personal and professional. And third, in your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. That's going to be the focus of our question this week. And to that end, to address that question, especially when we are talking about the words flourish, the Empress, to me, as you can see here, this is the Rider-Waite, Giant Rider-Waite edition, showing the Empress card. And as we see, for me, the Empress embodies the idea, the concept of flourishing, because we see all this abundance in nature, and she's luxuriating, because the idea of flourish is about how to luxuriate in life, in whatever you're doing. And she is the epitome, the Empress, of luxuriating. She's on this wonderful little cushiony chair, kind of like a throne, but it's very plush. She's in the midst of an abundant nature scene with a waterfall behind her, or to the side of her. It looks like a harvest right in front of her. So the whole concept of abundance is surrounding her. So she represents this week's theme. And she also, being the Empress, is obviously skilled. So that's where the idea of finesse comes in. The song related to flourish is actually called I Flourish. I just came across this song today, and it's by Sam Song. So I will include that link to the song. It's a very moving song. I don't mean to include necessarily religious songs, but the word God will be in there. But just listen to the music, soak it in, and I think you will find that it will encourage you to flourish. Now, the book I also recommend, a classic in my library, won't seem to relate to the idea of flourish because it's called The Emergency Handbook for Getting Money Fast by Carole Dore. Now, why on earth would I say this book relates to flourishing? Well, the reason I say that is this title, Emergency Handbook for Getting Money Fast, kind of belies its overall contents. Yes, it relates to money. Yes, it relates to finances, which is going to be one of our core questions. But more importantly, it and Carole Dore's teachings are all about having a high vibration and about flourishing. In her classes, Carole talks over and over again about the importance of flourishing, of expanding, of luxuriating, of soaking in abundance. So that's why that is this week's book recommendation. So now I'm going to get right into the reading. I will first put the camera down so you can see the cards as I'm shuffling. First card is going to represent, and they're going to be facing me. First card, how can you flourish in your work, whether it's inside or outside the home, and in your finances this week? What do you need to do? What do you need to be aware of? What blind spots, etc., strengths you may have? The second card will represent how can you flourish in your relationships? And the third card will represent how can you flourish in your physical and mental well-being. So we're going to look to tarot cards, this reading, for insights on what we need to be aware of and what we may need to look out for and be wary of. So those two areas. All right, I'll put this over here. And now this first card is going to represent work and finances. The Two of Swords reversed. First, I will show each card and then explain it. Oh, and I also want to say this week I'm using the Classic Tarot deck by Barbara Moore. I will include that information in the show notes. It's a Classic Tarot deck by Barbara Moore. As someone, I want to make sure I always include the type of deck it is. So the Two of Swords reversed represents what you need to know about flourishing in work and finances. Second card is the Hierophant for what you need to know about relationships and flourishing. Quite interesting, 2 reversals. And the third card, oh my goodness, another reversal, 8 of Pentacles or coins, reversed, representing our physical and spiritual well-being. I'm just going to do a quick check to make sure, yes, they are a mixture of reversals and uprights. Just make sure that it's clear deck there. The first card, 2 of Swords reversed, and how this answers the question about what you need to know to flourish in your work, whether it's inside or outside the home, and in your finances. Well, when upright, the 2 of Swords represents a situation in which you really feel at an impasse. It's a stalemate. It's the card that represents a stalemate. And it's like you stop. You see this figure. She's blindfolded. She's out. Oh, here it almost looks like, well, she's in front of some kind of a lake or pond. But clearly she is not allowing anyone to move past her. She's like the gatekeeper. It's also interesting here that you have the moon in the sky, so it's nighttime. And again, when it's upright, this represents a stalemate situation. But we ask the question, how can we flourish in our work and finances this week? And it's reversed. So this suggests that the way we are going to flourish is that you've realized we have an epiphany of some kind. We are no longer stuck. We are able to make a decision and be decisive about a particular project, a particular task that we had some concern about, or that we were ruminating about and were undecided about. Now that time is gone. So the way we are going to flourish this week is that perhaps we've taken some time to meditate at the beginning of the week, and then this cloud or this impasse is going to be lifted. It's going to dissipate. And so that's how we're going to be able to move forward. So this does make sense. It's saying, in contrast to the upright card image of the 2 of Swords, in which we feel in an impasse, we just don't know what to do, and often the advice is turn within. It's suggesting that if we've taken this advice, this action, and turn within, or it's saying once you've turned within, those insights, that clarity is going to come, and you're going to be able to flourish from this point forward. So that stalemate is lifting, it's dissipating. That makes sense. The next card, in answer to the question, how can we flourish in our relationships, whether personal or professional, we have the Hierophant reversed. Now this is interesting. So it's showing a lot of internal work, or either delays or things are dissipating. Now when upright, the Hierophant, number 5 in the Major Arcana, and of course the Major Arcana cards represent core archetypal energies. They're important. They're especially important energies in the tarot. And the Hierophant card itself often represents a relationship or situation in which tradition stands strong, which there is an authority figure who is basically providing the guidelines about how we should operate and how we should, basically how we should act, how we should operate, connecting spiritually and in the material realm, and that we are following some type of authority, some type of convention. Given that this card came reversed, the Hierophant came reversed, and notice the colors too. I like the colors in this particular image. Now there's a lot of red, and that suggests, for me, represents passion and purpose. And then we've got the 2 pillars, representing that solid conventional structure. And then we have these billowy pink clouds in the distance. But given that it's reversed, I feel that what tarot is advising us vis-a-vis our relationships and how we can flourish this week, whether it's in our personal or professional relationships, is that we may need to let go of traditional ways of thinking, traditional ways of operating, conventional ways of being, and perhaps turn within and get some creative ideas about how we need to move forward, how we can enhance, how we can communicate more effectively. That seems to me to be the message of the Hierophant reversed. And it's a very strong message given it's a major arcana. So it's saying, realize what's important to you, but be open to non-traditional ways of operating, of communicating, of interacting with people who are close to you or with your personal and professional relationships. And do it with a lot of energy, fire energy, given that the red's there. And then finally, how can you flourish in your physical and mental well-being this week? And we have here, I love this image, the Barbara Moore classic tarot image of the 8 of Pentacles or 8 of Coins, which is associated with someone working very assiduously, very in a forthright and consistent and focused way. They're apart from anyone else. And this image to me is especially warm because he's in this, it's like a very cozy cabin, focusing on creating these coins. And then there's that warm hearth in the background. And the 8 of Coins is also associated with, intense work, really focused work. But given that it's reversed, it's suggesting to me that if you want to flourish in your physical and mental well-being, perhaps you need to include a time for a break, a time out. You don't want to overextend yourself. That seems to me to be the message, what's coming to me intuitively from the 8 of Pentacles reversed. Let me just see if there's anything else. You may need to also, because this individual, when upright, is all alone, you may need to confer with other people or perhaps collaborate more with others, not just be solo the whole time to flourish mentally and physically, that you need to bring other people into maybe your projects or get some insights from others. That's to me what's saying, is saying to let go of just doing everything on your own and really invite opinions or, of course you have to your own self be true, but be open to the inputs of others, and that may help ease some of the strain or ease some of the excessive, spending too much time alone or spending too much trying to do everything yourself. That's what's coming to me right now. So in conclusion, it seems that this week, the best way to flourish and also cultivate finesse, skill in your finances, your work, your relationships, and your physical well-being is that it's a lot of internal work and also letting go of the past. Realizing you've taken time to meditate and that letting the insights come, getting away, being open to other ways of doing, non-conventional ways of doing things, and opening yourself up to other inputs, from other people outside yourself. That to me is the core message that we are gaining from this week's tarot reading. I hope this reading has been helpful for you. If you've not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, remember, illumine your mind, inspire your life with tarot.